Good morning, boys and girls. I just woke up on this beautiful Saturday morning and watched the tag video by James called The Most Awesome Tag in YouTube History, or something to that effect. I would like to participate, and I would like to tag Darren Locke and Shannon Riddler, but only if you guys want to do it. If you don't want to, of course, it's fine, but I'm specifically tagging Darren Locke and Shannon Riddler, and anybody else that would like to do it as well. So James did a card vlog where he created a new tag chain, and I am doing that. As I said, I'm being redundant. Okay, sequel I would want to be made. There are probably a few of these, but the one that comes to mind is The Incredibles. They've talked about making Incredibles sequel for quite a while, and if they can get the voice cast back and Brad Bird to oversee the thing, that would be great. I'd love to see that. There are a lot of movies that I'd like to see sequels to with the continuation of characters. But most of them I wouldn't necessarily demand a sequel just because the movie that already exists is kind of perfect as is. But if I had to choose one, The Incredibles I think would be a very good choice. Sequel I wish didn't exist. Well, I know that I'm in the minority here, but I'm going to have to say X-Men Days of Future Past. I was really disappointed by this movie. There were all kinds of problems with it. So many logical errors, and I'm disappointed that this movie is coming in between First Class and Apocalypse. And Apocalypse could be really good, but it's now a permanent part of the X-Men timeline. A lot of people complained about X-Men The Last Stand and about X-Men Origins of Wolverine, and how X-Men Future Past, Days of Future Past came along, thank God, because it corrected the mistakes those movies made. Well, you're forgetting that X-Men Days of Future Past also erased the events of X2, which lots of people like. So, I don't know, kind of cuts both ways. But yeah, so many problems I had with this movie, and I really wish that it was not part of the X-Men timeline now, but unfortunately it is. So, question number 3. Name an actor, an actress, and a director who would like to stop making films. I can't think of too many actors who I would just want to just stop working altogether. I mean, even some of the most annoying people can make good stuff on occasion. It just depends. For a long time I really wasn't a fan of Keanu Reeves, but there are particular movies that he's good in. I am thinking in particular of Speed versus, say, Bram Stoker's Dracula. He's good in Speed, he's bad in Bram Stoker's Dracula. They all have their good and bad days, so mostly the ones I like the best have mostly good days. I can't think of too many that would just say, no more Dane Cook, ever. Dane Cook, hey, if you check out Dad in Real Life, Dane Cook is good in that movie. As far as actresses go, again, can't think of too many that I would just say I'd never want to see another movie by that person. I can certainly say I'd like Kim Kardashian to go away altogether, but she isn't really an actress. She's acted, but that's not her sort of principal focus in life. Principal focus in social media, her e-TV show, and just basically keeping her persona up, and all of her endorsements and everything like that, and magazine covers. She acts once in a while, but I wouldn't consider her an actress, so I'm not sure she qualifies. However, I can think of a director I would like to see stop making movies. Michael Bay. No more 3-hour Transformers movies, no more of that incredibly excessive bombast. There are a few guys like him, but he is definitely the king of that. I would really like to see Michael Bay stop making movies altogether. That would be great. Next question, what would be a movie that I would like to see spun off in a regular TV series? This sort of goes back to the sequel that I'd like to see made. It's a question of which group of characters would I like to follow in future adventures or misadventures or what have you. And there's a movie that I like to recommend to people. Not many people like it, but I really enjoy it a lot, and it's called Time Code. It's an ensemble comedy. It's set in largely this production company called Red Mullet in Los Angeles. This movie was made in the year 2000. And it was one of those experimental films whereby they shot the entire movie in one go over the course of an hour and a half with 4 different cameras and put all 4 images on screen at the same time. So it's like 4 90-minute shots running simultaneously, and characters move in and out of each other's worlds. Anyway, it's a comedy. Some of the characters are kind of dumb, but it's all the shenanigans involving deciding which movies get made and solving crises involving movies that are currently made and dealing with directors and actors and what have you, and casting parts and what have you. I just really like the movie a lot. It's lots of fun. There's lots of good actors in it. It's a joy. I went to see it like 3 times, and I've had it on DVD for a long time. It's something that I'm very fond of, and I wouldn't mind seeing like a weekly half-hour series in which they continue to deal with all the shenanigans. It doesn't have to be one shot, with each episode being an unbroken take. That would be a little crazy for a weekly series. But that setting and those characters would be fun. Time code. What movie would you? Oh, here's a question that I think deserves answering. Is that what television show? There have been a bunch of television shows that have been spun off into movies, like The X-Files and Serenity. So there's got to be a TV series that's on now that would make a good film. Homeland, I think would make an excellent thriller. But I'm not really caught up with the series. It's about to start its 4th season, I think, and I've only seen the first one, just off the top of my head. Also, The Big Bang Theory is a fun show, but I'm not sure if it would work as a feature film. Although I do enjoy watching that movie in blocks of like 3 or 4 episodes at a time, rather than just one at a time. So I'd be down for that. They'd probably have to up the production value a little bit, add an additional wall onto most of those sets, because it is very much, a sitcom style. Okay, so pick any movie to have a special screening with the cast and crew, talking and sharing anecdotes and joking around during the film as you're watching it, whatever, sort of like a live cast commentary. The Avengers would be great. I'd love to hear Downey and Chris Hemsworth and Joss Whedon and Mark Ruffalo and Scarlett Johansson and all those guys hanging out. Tom Hiddleston, Clark Gregg, all those guys hanging out, talking about how much fun they had making the movie, because word is they had a lot of fun, and they really, had trouble actually getting takes done because everyone was joking around and laughing so much. That would be fun. That would be a lot of fun. I can think of a lot of movies that would probably be fun to do that with. Like Dazed and Confused would be great to watch that movie with the whole cast. But The Avengers, that would be my first choice. What's your favorite way to watch a movie? Well, if I had a state-of-the-art home theater, kind of like how I don't have now, yeah, that would be great. But with what I've got, I generally just, I could use a better sound system. I have wireless headphones, which are great for not disturbing anyone else, but the sound in them isn't the best. It's just good, basically, to keep the noise level down. I've got a flat screen. It's pretty decent. It's secondhand, but it's still nice. Usually the way that I prefer to see movies, if this counts, is with a beverage but not food. Food is a little bit too distracting. I like to have water or juice or soda or something like that, rather than a lot of food. Even if it's like finger food, that makes it easier to eat while you're keeping your eyes on the screen, but usually I prefer without food. That's just me. Of course, I love watching movies in the theater as well, because of the screen size, because of the surround sound, all that stuff, that's probably my favorite way to watch the movie. And if I had a home theater that replicated the conditions of an actual movie theater, that would be perfect, but that's not happening unless I'm a millionaire. If you had to pick one movie, only one more movie to see, and then no more movies for the rest of your life, what would it be? Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron is something I'm really looking forward to, more than most other movies that are coming out, and there are plenty that I'm looking forward to. Mission Impossible 5 is being directed by the guy who did Jack Reacher in The Way of the Gun, so that's exciting. There's a CGI animated Peanuts movie coming out. There's, of course, Episode 7, there's Brad Bird's Tomorrowland, and any number of smaller movies that will probably be very exciting. Plenty of movies coming out over the rest of the year. But if there's one movie I'm looking forward to more than any of them, that's Age of Ultron, because of Joss Whedon, and because I'm all caught up with the Marvel series up to that point. I'd love to see how that next chapter goes, especially since Joss Whedon is in charge of the thing. So yeah, if I had to pick one movie to see, it's like you get to choose one more movie to watch and that's it, no more movies for the rest of your life, would probably be Age of Ultron. Not a movie that I've already seen. I would consider that a waste of time. A waste of opportunity. Next question, what's your most anticipated movie right now? Age of Ultron, absolutely. And finally, the last question, if you could only have one food or one particular dish to eat for the rest of your life, what would it be? Well, my default answer is a chicken burrito from Chipotle, but I'm well aware of the fact that if I ate nothing but that for the rest of my life, I would get tired of it very, very quickly. I really would. I mean, I love that thing. It's great. It's delicious. But yeah, that's a difficult question to answer in a realistic way. But if I had to pick one thing, yeah, it would be that chicken burrito from Chipotle. You can vary the ingredients a little bit, but for the most part, yeah. Anyway, so there's my tag video. Hope you enjoyed it. And I look forward to seeing videos from Darren and Shannon if they would like to do it, and anyone else who wants to do this tag. Thank you, James, and if you haven't seen James's video, links in the description. Later, guys.